In my hand, I hold what I believe are the 7 habits of highly boring women. My name is Monique Head. I am a feminine allure educator, dating and relationship coach, and I work with single women of faith who are ready for a relationship. And I teach you a new way of being that helps to generate attraction, develop a modern courtship, and ultimately inspire commitment. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So, number one, the first habit of the highly boring woman is that you don't open up. You don't open up, and you know what I'm talking about. So just yesterday, actually, I was on YouTube because I happened to be looking for some Katy Perry tickets. She just popped in my mind. I do enjoy her music, and so she was being interviewed by Access Hollywood because she has this new tour going on. And so in the video, actually, what it showed was a highlight of Katy Perry's 96-hour live YouTube feed or something like that. But she had a therapy session, and in that therapy session, she cried and she just released and revealed so much of herself. And so the interviewer said, "Well, wow, you had a breakdown." And Katy Perry said, "I didn't break down. I opened up." Ooh! She said, "I didn't break down. I opened up." And in that moment, that really resonated and touched my spirit, right? Because what she said is that, there's this fear of being vulnerable. And what's happening with her right now is that she's having this internal battle of wanting to show up as Catherine Hudson, right, which is her name, versus being obligated to be Katy Perry. So rather than seeing her tears as a breakdown, she saw it as really opening up. And so your ability to open up helps to develop connection. People really get to see you and get to feel you. So Katy Perry, if you're watching this or if you're a part of her team, I want you to know that I see you. So that's habit number one of the highly boring woman, is that you don't open up, you don't allow yourself to really be seen. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the second habit of the highly boring woman is that you don't pique curiosity. Okay, you don't pique curiosity. And this comes because, number one, you don't pique curiosity because you don't have a passion, right? You're not passionate about anything. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know anything really about yourself and about your womanhood. And if you do have a passion, you don't share it. You don't reveal that part of yourself for whatever reason, okay? So you don't pique curiosity. In order to spark curiosity, you have to let people know more about you. Okay, you have to be able to reveal yourself, reveal your passion. And on the other hand, if you're not piquing curiosity, it's because you talk too much, right? And when you talk too much, what happens is that you let go and you relinquish a part of that mystique. Because warmth and mystique is really important. Warmth is what attracts people to you, and that mystique and mystery is what will keep them engaged. So learning how to pique curiosity, right? Just by being yourself and revealing and sharing your passions, and having people to be like, wow, what is she on? She's so happy. She has a lot going for herself. Like, I really want to be a part of her world. So that's habit number two, not piquing curiosity by reserving yourself. Number three, the third habit of the highly boring woman is that you don't add value. You don't add value. And the best way to add value is by sharing, right? You can share stories, you can share your resources, you can share your time, your resources of time, money, your talent, okay? Be able to share, because when a woman shares, she adds value. Don't be a taker, okay? Be a giver. So go ahead and begin to share so that you can add value into the lives of someone else. The fourth habit of the highly boring woman is that you're easily distracted. And so your capacity to be present is deficient. Okay? So this is actually more of the result of the habit. So the habit is that you're easily distracted. And as a result of that, your capacity to be present is deficient. Because I could have just said a habit of really lacking presence, but that's not true. When I say presence, I'm not really talking about walking into the room type of presence. That goes more into personal presentation, which are skills that I teach. But what I'm talking about more specifically is, let's say you're out at dinner and your mind is starting to wander and you're just getting on the phone, right? And so remember that people associate you with whatever feelings you produce in them consistently, Okay, so if you're out and about and you're just on your phone, right? Because your mind wanders, your mind is wandering aimlessly. You're seeking some sort of attention, which is what social media sites are built to do. They're like casinos, right? So they're built to take your mind away from that and to take your mind from the external and the people around you and create connection and really just be focused on that moment. And when you do that, when you partake in that consistently, and this is why I had to get off of Facebook, because my capacity to be present was diminishing. Okay, so in order to counter that, you have to practice mindfulness, right? You have to practice mindfulness, and you have to really have a core desire to really want to connect to people and to really want to allow yourself to be seen. I mean, there's a theme here. Do you see it? The fifth habit. The fifth habit of the highly boring woman is that you value your fears more than you value your future. You value your fears more than you value your future. What this looks like is that, let's say you're with a man and you're out on a date. Let's think, you're out on a date and you're at dinner, and all of a sudden this man says something or does something, or maybe he doesn't do anything, and actually you begin to think about the past. You begin to think about what James did and what John did and what Tim did and what uh I don't know, Jonathan did, rather than being present in the moment. And your mind will take you out the game if you're not careful. Okay, all of that fear is not real. It's just an illusion, because your brain is wired to detect threat first and safety second. It's meant to keep you safe. And if you're not careful, right, if you don't have the power to cast down those imaginations, that's what it's about. Because God hasn't given you the spirit of fear, but instead one of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, so if you're watching this as a woman of faith, you know that you have the power to hold those thoughts in captivity, cast down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against God, and bring your thoughts, bring your mind, get your mind right, bring your mind into the obedience of Christ, into God's power. Okay, and so when you do that, what you begin to do is to value your future more than you value your fears. And then you begin to lighten up, you'll begin to be present, you'll begin to expand more, and people will perceive you as this magnetic, charismatic, alluring, fascinating woman. Habit number 6, right? Habit number 6 is this fear of intimacy. You fear intimacy. This is a habit, right? This is not just, oh, this is how I am. This is a habit. Fear and the things that we fear become a habit because you have choice in those moments. So when you fear intimacy, fear means that you have trouble going beyond the surface of things. You have trouble going deep with people. You have trouble, again, opening up and allowing yourself to be seen. And sometimes when you notice that a relationship is really going beyond the surface level, you might default to a certain behavior. It might be joke telling, it might be sarcasm, it might be laughter, it might just simply be withdrawal, because you fear that intimacy. So again, you have to practice mindfulness, and you want to ask yourself, well, what is it that I'm really afraid of? Okay, and is this fear even likely to happen? Is this something that I can even control? Right? You want to be able to ask yourself those questions, and then you want to get down, well, given all of this, do I even want to risk the intimacy that I could be having right now in this moment, rather than allowing your mind to really project into the future to something that even isn't real? Right now in this moment is all that we have. Okay, so release that fear, let it go, because it's not serving you, girl. And then the last one, habit number 7, is that you enjoy comfort too much. You enjoy too much comfort. You enjoy too much comfort. Comfort like, oh, I ain't gonna do that. Black people don't do that. That's a white people thing. Or I'm not gonna eat that food. I don't want to go here. I don't, like, all these different reasons for why you don't want to do something. Successful people live outside their comfort zone, right? And when you have been used to a certain way of being, when you have been used to a certain habit, certain ways of doing things, it really creates comfort, right? It creates a pattern in your mind, and so your brain is wired to create a different route for you, right? So when you begin to think about something differently, your brain is going to say, oh, well, this is what you normally do, and I'm going to create a different route for you. This is, I think it's called like the basal ganglia or something like that. But there's this little pattern in your brain for that. And you have the power, again, to hold any negative thought, to hold anything that's not serving you, that's preventing you from really moving forward in your future in a beautiful, awesome relationship, creating a family structure, right, that will influence the character of our nation and really influence the evolution of the universe. You got to be able to come out your fear, right? This is true whether you want a relationship or whether you want an awesome business, whether you want anything. You have to come out of that comfort zone because what got you here will not get you there. So I know that this came across like all these don'ts, but hopefully you got some do's and what you can be doing instead so that you can show up in a more magnetic, alluring, and fascinating way. My name is Monique Head. If this information served you, I want you to click on the link below, and that way you can get access to my complimentary video training series. It's called Be the Woman Who Gets Everything That She Wants, especially for men. It's a 3-part video series. You can click the link below to get access to that. And also, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. I offer videos weekly, and share this with 2 women that you know, because when you share, you add value. My name is Monique. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.